Well, hello everybody. Today I am going to be flipping through my 2023 planner, which is my Makselife flagship planner. Now, this is the cover that I designed with them for 2023's planners, and I'm still just as in love with it today as I was when I made it. I mean, to be fair, when I first made it, I was like, I fucking hate this. I think it sucks. But I think that about most of my art. And then once it came out in planner form, I was like, no, 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 I fucking love this. Now, often I am not somebody who uses my own personal artwork in a lot of things. I tend to use other people's artwork because it's like when you hear your voice a whole bunch and it throws you off and you feel really strange because the voice that you hear like on a recording is not what you hear in your head, because in your head you're hearing it muffled through your head. Well, this is like the mental like imposter syndrome muffling of my artwork. But this cover is basically like what I would if I had a choice of like out of the whole sky as to what a planner cover might look like, it would be this one. So I'm very proud of it. That's why I'm rambling about it. But yeah, use this planner this whole year. Now, you're going to see when we get to December that I'm kind of towards the end of the year. It's not quite as used, mostly because I'm in chicken with my head cut off mode. And that tends to be when I use my planner the least, which is when I know I need to use it the most. But this has never been a habit I have been able to break thus far. The other thing I want to show you is that if you look here, you can see how chonky this boy has gotten with a year of using it. Now, the thing is that you can kind of tell as you look towards the second half of the year, it's not quite as chonky. And it's not because I wasn't using it. It was because I wasn't using stickers as much. I fell into a like pen and highlighter and dot pen and maybe some washi tape way of being. I think this would have been even a little chonkier had I not done that. I also have all of my old compass assessments in here, as well as my 2022 reflections journal, so that adds some chunk. And then I have these planner envy stickers. You might notice them from my original my planner envy uh review. I really like these, and I think I'm going to use them in this planner for New Year's week, or the week of New Year's Eve. So I'm just leaving them back there so I don't forget. Anyway, let's flip through this sucker. Now, the Wire O binding has been holding up pretty well. I still don't like it. I'm glad that Makselife went to the spiral this next year, but it has held up. My planner hasn't fallen apart, which I do appreciate. Social Security office, because that's my life. All right, begun on 12/8/2022. That's when I started filling out my goals last year. Today is actually the day I'm filming this. You're seeing this a little later, is the 7th. So this is a year in this planner. Really? Wow. I thought it was just, I'm filming it ahead of time, but no. So first and foremost, we have the life compass all filled out. That was when I started to notice that some of the Moxie markers really do bleed, which is why when people say they're just redesigned or relabeled mild liners, I'm like, au contraire, mon frère. The mild liners do not bleed like this. So they're inkier. Doesn't mean that they're not very similar to the mild liners, but they are not exactly the same. I'm just making that point. My word for the year is continue. I totally forgot about this. Maybe because I wasn't doing one little word this year. I tried doing one little word part of the way through the year and then was like, so it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. But I have continued. Let's take a look at some of these intentions. I already did a goals check-in video. I don't know if you've seen that yet or if you're going to see that later. I can't remember. I think you already have seen it at this point. Whatever the case may be. Vlogmas throws me off. The point being is that I did go over my goals, but I didn't really look at this page. So let's take a look. What I could use more of in my life this year. Routine, stability, slow and steady progress. Yeah, actually, that has been pretty consistent throughout this year. Well, consistently, not always stable, but there has been slow and steady progress. Very slow. What I could use less of in my life this year. Franticness, surprises, bad ones, and waves. Oh, I guess like making waves in your life. And again, I feel like there's been some of that, but there's also been more than I expected. I don't think I anticipated just how much starting home hemodialysis, which, by the way, if you're new here, I started that right at the beginning of 2023. So, yeah, again, somewhat there. What characteristics I would like to nurture? Patience, steadfastness, follow through, and peacefulness. I think the peacefulness and the patience have developed over the course of the year. Maybe the steadfastness, the follow through, Holy shit, not so much. I think I completely did not realize. I thought my kidney brain would get better on dialysis, but somehow it's gotten worse. 3 habits I want to develop this year are taking my blood pressure 2 times daily, because I was having really big trouble keeping up with my blood pressure meds for a little while there when my kidney brain got bad. Fun fact, I'm not on any blood pressure medication now. That is a positive from dialysis, although I still have been struggling a little bit with my meds every once in a while, depending on how tired I am at night. Riding my Peloton weekly, not so much. Going to church 2 times a month. You know, that was something that I thought was not going to happen this year until I hit about August. And now suddenly, I'm singing in the choir and we sing twice a month. So that right there. Woohoo! This year I'll be more steady. Maybe. I will do less blaming myself. Maybe. Needing to take things slow. That I'm working on. Jesse has helped me a lot with that. I will let go of expectations on my time. I have done a pretty good job about that, although from the outside, I don't think I have done as good of a job from myself. Like the expectations other people have on my time, I've done a good job of letting that go. Some of it. When expectations on my own time, like the time my own expectations, that's next year Cindy's problem. I will embrace taking things one day at a time. Yes. And then I had all of these different kind of word ideas: steady, day by day, gentle, patient, persevere, endure. And I went with continue. To remain in existence, check. To move somewhere in a slow and steady way, check. To develop gradually, check. So cool. Then, God, this is such a chunky boy. Here's all my goals. Like I said, we already went through those. My 23 and 2023, I did not keep up with this. My bucket list for next year is actually, I think, a little bit more reasonable. You'll see that one on the New Year's Eve. So that one I feel good. But let's just take a quick minute and check in with this as well. Just grabbing a pen. Read a new fantasy series. Dude, check. It's not, well, that's a Tombo Food Nasuki. That's not what I meant to do. I thought that was a Sharpie pen. I did. It's not done, but I read the Empyrean, the Fourth Wing, and Iron Flame. I just blew through both of those a week ago. So it's not finished, but I did start and read as much as was published, a new fantasy series. Make a Scotch egg. No, but we did eat delightful Scotch eggs. RJ and I found a good restaurant, so I think I'm fine with not making it. They seem like a pain in the, like they're good, but the amount of effort to make one, I don't think it actually is worth. You know how sometimes you have like delicious food that like you could make it, but the amount of a pain in the ass it would take to make versus going to a restaurant and just buying it. That's where we're at with Scotch eggs, I think. Create an evening ritual. I kind of did that. Take 3 weeks off. I took 2 weeks off, and I think that's good enough for me. Visit a museum each quarter. No, I didn't actually really keep up with this. No, we did not walk the Denver multi-use trail system. I talk about that in my goals video because that was one of my big stretch goals for the year. There's a lot that went into why that didn't happen, and none of it is surprising. Work and learning. I did complete this, and I did take the HB90 boot camp each quarter, except for this quarter because I'm about to start it. But I count it. Celebrate our 10-year anniversary. We did that. Host friends quarterly. We did that. Health and wellness. Hit my century ride. Nope. Graduate from home hemo training. Yep. Find a therapist. Yep. Find a living donor. Nope. Join a UU congregation. I didn't join it, but I am attending. Financial. Write a budget. Started that, but it's not done yet. Pay off debt. Did that. Complete my no by year. Getting very close to it. And then for physical environment, which I apparently didn't write here, plant my green stuff. I did that, but I also had to unplant it quite early just because of the weird weather and the hail and the snow and the fucking pouring rain that just murdered it. Yeah. Create a cozy dialysis room. Did that. Find and hang a statement art piece in the living room. I did that. 2 pieces, actually, and I love them. By an artist who I really like, Kelly Ventura. All right. Stickers. So I didn't use the January monthly calendar. January goals. January actions. And then my first spread of the year. And you can just see how excited I was to use my new planner because it is so beautiful. This is Chrissy Ann Designs. I think this is a Celebrations Collection kit plus the I think the add-ons with some Simply Gilded washi tape, and I just fucking love this. What else do we have going on this week? Sunny's 19th birthday, Jesse's 26th. This is 36th birthday. The week between Christmas and New Year's is a very full of holidays week. Between Christmas, Jesse's birthday, Sunny's birthday, and New Year's, it's a lot. All right. This was a Cricut Paper Co. horizontal kit that I made work. I'm very proud of myself for that. And I actually really like it. Finish Caligula. The fuck was I? Did I mean Caligula? Or did I mean I Claudius? I feel like I meant I Claudius because I don't remember watching like a movie or something called Caligula, but I do very much remember watching I Claudius with John Hurt as a very spicy Caligula. Ooh, and a mammogram. Check that out because I got another one coming up tomorrow. Plus, this is a very doctor's appointment week. All right. And that was my first time doing one of the weekly check-ins. You're going to see not very many of them. I love this. God, I've been not using stickers that much lately. This is making me want to use stickers. And I really like this like format. I think I did this for quite a while. This kind of setup. This was the week we started working on, we started home hemodialysis this week. We started Layla in daycare on a regular basis this week. This Monday, the 9th, was my first day of home hemodialysis. And then we also started putting the dialysis room together. This was the week that we got the recliner. So, yeah. I was so organized at the beginning of the year. This was the Wonton in a Million Lunar New Year from the Lunar New Year box. I love how this looks. This is very cute. There were a lot of stickers here that I wasn't really sure what to use. Another week of dialysis training without working on Monday. Monday we were off. Really not much else besides dialysis training. That was a lot of the beginning of the year. And then this was a pen only week. I think this is when I thought I had when I started getting a UTI, maybe going into a kidney infection, and I wound up going on, you'd see here these meds checkoffs, very intense antibiotics that tore my stomach up. But when you're on dialysis and you get any kind of kidney or bladder infection, it is like no joke. So they want to fucking knock that shit right out. Whew. Working on the dialysis room. We went to the melting pot for my birthday this week. And this was also the week that we started really receiving a lot of the stuff that many of you ordered for the dialysis room with the thank yous and things like that. So cool. And this was also the first day I self-cannulated. I'm so excited to see that on there. I'm glad I made note of that. All right, January is over. This is when I thought I would start taking dialysis information down. And then I quickly realized that I already am doing all of that on my dialysis, like little paper that we fill out each session. When self-cannulated. My birthday week. This is the week I turned 43. Layla in daycare continued going to dialysis training all week. At this point, I was cannulating myself the whole time. And then this is when our last day at dialysis training. And we did our first home dialysis on Monday that day. And I'm pretty sure it went well. This is also the first day they were delivering the big pile of supplies to us. We put Layla in daycare every day that we dialyzed during the week this week. That does not go on forever. That does go on for a while, though. And this was one of my first, just highlighter and dot pen weeks, although I did use the Makselife hourly washi tape to see if I could, kind of turn this into an hourly planner. Then we have the week of Valentine's Day. And I love this. I don't know where I got this hydrangea washi tape, but I fucking love it. And I love how pretty this turned out using the Chrissy Ann Design stickers. I did not go to First UU, though. This is when we got Jesse's standing desk for the dialysis room, and I was feeling really excited. So I do remember going on the Peloton this week because I did the Muse ride. This week was done with a bunch of icons. It was a rough day. I had kidney pain on one day, a rough day on another day. Didn't really feel good this whole week, but we managed. This is, I think, when it started to hit me. Nope, we're doing dialysis today. And looks like there was a day I couldn't cannulate, probably. I had a lot of those early on. If you don't know what cannulating is, it's when you actually stab yourself with the needle and get like everything hooked up. A big chunk of that, especially at the beginning, I use the buttonhole method, where it's basically if you imagine when your ear gets pierced. And you know, when you take earrings out and you don't wear them for a while, sometimes you have to kind of poke it through a little bit. It's the same deal, except it's in my arms. It's scar tissues. They are holes that were established during training that I can use over and over again, so I don't have to use sharp needles. I can use blunt needles. However, sometimes, especially on my arterial axis, which is the axis where the blood comes out, and then there's the venous axis where the blood goes back in, the hole in my skin and the hole in my actual vessel don't always line up. So I had to find it. And I had a lot of trouble with that for the first months. I'm going to cap my pen. All right. My first clinic visit after going home. That was intense. This is also the week we did RJ's birthday lunch. Where did we go? I think we went to the Brazilian steakhouse for his birthday lunch, I want to say. Also the week that we finally hung up. I don't think I wrote it on here. I don't think it's on here at all, but it is on my wins, that we finally hung the beautiful piece of art above my bed. And I love it. I love it so much. It's by another artist I really like, Lorianne Gonzalez. If you want to know, I've got both of the big art in my living room by Kelly Ventura and the big print over my bed from a place called Juniper Prints Shop. They actually specialize in making oversized prints that can fit, the paper will fit in the IKEA oversized print frames. So yeah, it's a pain to actually like get it into the frame, but once it's done, it's beautiful. Another bust on dialysis, low energy day. RJ taking his permit test, which was exciting after he turned 17 on the 7th. And this was probably another day where I just didn't get much done. St. Patrick's Day, this is another Celebrations Collection kit. And I made a note that dialysis actually went well. But then here we had to stop 30 minutes in. I'm wondering, we've had a couple of times. Once was when a couple of times we've had power outages. Another couple of times something goes wrong with the cartridge and we have to stop. So I don't think I've had any, I haven't had any moments where we've had to stop because I'm not feeling good. It's almost always something to do with the machine. This was also the week that I finished the Art Within course. This is when the kids went to Napa for spring break. And we sent them in a car because their dad scheduled the flight right in the middle of dialysis. And this was just a Chrissy Ann Designs kit. I'm using up a lot of my stickers this year. I tried using the old Inkwell Press kit in here and it fit. It's just I didn't actually wind up using it very much this week. My quarterly assessment. All right, here I was tracking my steps in the monthly calendar. Another highlighter and dot pen day, except this time I used a Tombow marker. This is when we actually went to see Muse this week, and you could just tell it wiped me out afterwards because I didn't fucking touch my planner. And we got our taxes done ahead of time. See if we can do that again next year. Another highlighter and marker week. We had a friend in town this week, one of Jesse's coworkers. My Uncle Rich was in town this week, and we were I think this was the night that we were supposed to go to the Brazilian steakhouse, but then Sunny wasn't feeling good, and so we stayed home and ordered in instead. Another style this week, except adding washi tape. Watched the Kings. This is when the Kings were in the play, like everybody was in the playoffs games going on. This is when I got back into my sports ball life. Rough day. And then I got my hepatitis shot, which I know made the rest of the weekend rough as well. I had to get that's the reason I had to do the hepatitis shot was for transplant. You have to be up to date on all your vaccines for transplant because you're immunocompromised. Another week I didn't really get much done on my planner, at least. That's why on one of these days, I think it was Thursday. It might have been Tuesday. It was one of these 2 days. I got a phone call about being a backup for a potential transplant. I didn't wind up getting it, but it was like 3 days of waiting to find out if I was going to get it or not. So it did, in fact, derail my entire week. Ooh, this is intense here. I think I thought this was a good idea at the time. Another big week, another dialysis. Oh, Tears of the Kingdom release. Yep. RJ spent the whole weekend. He asked if he could stay home from school that day. I was like, no. So we spent the entire week. We didn't even see him playing Tears of the Kingdom. This week we went and saw Les Mis. It was a pretty intense week. I'm not going to lie. The Les Mis situation that day, one of the kids got in trouble for something and it almost derailed everything, and then it got back on track. This was a Fern Creek stickers kit and I just love how it looks. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Continuing the playoffs here through, this is May. Yeah, the playoffs I think end mid-June. And it's another clinic visit week. Did I do anything with my calendar in June? I started tracking steps and then was like, nope. I think this is when we started going to the City Park Farmers Market here in Denver. We had been going to the Cherry Creek one, but it just felt kind of not hokey, but it felt kind of like shitty. And then we went to the one at the park, and the park one is awesome. The other one we want to check out, but we didn't get a chance this past year, was the Old Pearl Street Farmers Market. Another Fern Creek stickers week. Another sick day. So many sick days. Holy shit. And then this was also when I did the happy hour. Like, I think this is when workshop week started. This is when workshop week started and I was there for the happy hour. That was fun. And then this was a rainbow week that I did with highlighters and such. And this is the week I actually did workshop week. This is also when Sunny and I went to Broadway and went to like all the vintage stores in the 80s store that was there. So much fun. I think Sunny was going out of town the next week for to visit friends. And I also know that we were starting to plan my sister and brother-in-law's trip. Was this also the week that we wound up going to Garbage? There was a week that we wound up going to Garbage, but it was like a last minute thing. What week was that? Did I even write that in here? Poured on us. That's what I know. Whatever day that was, it fucking poured on us. Anyway, the following week, this is a rainbow week I did with Chrissy Ann Design Stickers. We went with RJ to see Cake while Sunny was out of town. I have my gallery wall in here like I did that. No, I didn't do that. And then Pride Fest. We wound up not going because we were wiped out after the Cake concert. Another Fern Creek stickers situation. This was when Jesse had some coworkers in town. Another coworkers in town week. And this is almost when our like fucking marathon of house guests began. July. Yeah, that's when it was. So July, this is when we're moving into the summer of busyness. So this week, the kids, I'm actually even surprised there's this much going on here. The fucking 4th, it was so loud all fucking week. Not just because of the 4th of July, but also because of the Nuggets winning the NBA championships. It was basically fireworks and firecrackers every single night for like a month and a half. It was so loud. Our poor pets. Anyway, so this week was busy because the kids went to visit my sister in this Sushi Den, which is a favorite restaurant of ours. This wasn't us going to Sushi Den. This was a reminder to make reservations for when my mother-in-law was in town, because you got to make them right when they open up, reservations for each week. Anyway, this was when Sunny and RJ went to visit my sister for a week. And then this is when Jesse and I drove to Estes Park to have a anniversary weekend. We planned it in between dialysis treatments to go, and so you can see here, dialysis, drive to Estes Park, then we stayed in Estes Park, Estes Park and drove home, and then dialyzed that night. This was the night we had dinner at Cascades Restaurant at the Stanley Hotel. It was a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we need to do it again. The kids flew home on the 13th, and then we were just doing some cleanup and getting the guest room finished because the following week, our friend Christy, who is a coworker of Jesse's, flew into town for a few days for work, and she stayed with us. And then they went to the office. I did a whole week of stickers. I'm pretty sure this was like a live plan with me week. But Christy was here staying with us this week. And then I did nothing this week. I don't know why. I'm not really sure what happened there. What happened there? I'm not really sure why I didn't plan that week. Then this week my mother-in-law showed up. Was that the... No, you know what? She left. So this was the week she showed up. So that's probably why I didn't really plan much in here, because I was just too wiped out. So my mother-in-law was here for this. We went to a Rockies game with Jesse's company. They were doing like an event with the Rockies. This also is right in the middle of when I was working on Chrissy and design stuff for the Celebrations collection. This is the week Sunny registered for college. This is the week RJ registered for his senior year. Just a very, very busy week. Then we also got the siding fixed that week, which was nice. Then this week, another week of Chrissy and designs and all this work. And then my brother-in-law and sister arrived on that Wednesday. That Thursday, we went to the water park and it was awesome. And then as you can see here, not much planned because I was busy with my sister and brother-in-law, except we finally did make it to the Brazilian steakhouse with my uncle that night. And then this week was the first week of school for RJ, my sister and brother-in-law, back to the airport. RJ's first day of school. I don't think Sunny's first day of school was this week. This is also when I started taking iron. And then my father-in-law and his now fiance, they're getting married next year, which I'm very excited about. When did they arrive? They arrived on Tuesday of this week. And I was using stencils this week. They arrived on Tuesday this week. And then we went to the melting pot with them. And then they were here through Saturday. That was a lot of fun. And this was our last house guest of the summer. Then the following week, I think this was Sunny. No, wait. Was this Sunny's first week of school? Yes, this was Sunny's first week of school. Because I was planning out my AM routine. Because I was like, how the fuck am I going to get everybody where they need to be? And then this week, clinic visit, dental visits, etc., etc., etc. Sunny and I, Jesse and I went to the Mastodon concert. That was also a lot of fun. Fucking metal. I think we might go to a Cannibal Corpse concert at Red Rocks next year if we can get tickets. I'm just saying. All right. Sorry, I just had a break because when looking at different concerts and shit, I remembered that today that I'm filming this is the pre-sale for the Renegade Jukebox Heroes Tour at Styx and Foreigner, and I really want to go. And we had the pre-sale code from Ball Arena here in Denver because we already got into concerts there. Anyway, so Wheel of Time. This is when the week that Wheel of Time came back, I believe. Good times. I don't even know what happened this week, except that nothing. I didn't touch my planner this week. This was a live hot mess plan with me. I believe this was the Wheel of Fuckery, another Fern Creek stickers kit. And this was right in the middle of like taking pictures and getting my shop ready to reopen. Q3 compass, nothing on the calendar. Exercise you butt nugget. I think this is when I started this style. I didn't film this. This wasn't to plan with me or anything. And I got people saying, what did you do? This is so pretty. And I think this became my new vibe for a while. Book tickets. Book tickets for what? It was probably book tickets to go to Kristen and Damien's baby shower. And then, oh, this was fun too. My Doodle With Me Halloween vibe. This was a lot of fun. And this is when we started watching The Fall of the House of Usher. Good times. Another week like this with the highlighters and the washi tape. And we finished The House of Usher. I think this was the first week that Jesse went to the jam session too. And this was also the Sunday that I went and heard the choir. I remember that. This was a momentous week for both Jess and I, with our music lives being rekindled here in Denver after moving here and doing dialysis training. Jesse went to the jam session, and I went with him. We had a blast. And I went to the church that morning, the choir sang, and I was like, fuck yeah, the choir. And then I found out that they were doing a music Sunday on the 5th that Sunny and I were going to be too late to join in on. It was a very intense service. So we started attending the first week after that. But I also reopened the shop before that. So I'm actually, no, but I got my COVID vaccine this week, my new booster. Again, transplant. I'm staying on top of all my shit because I want to have no reason for them to deny me a transplant. Not that I'm anti-vaccine. I'm super, let's go herd immunity, but I'm just making the point. I think this was also the week that Odin we had taken him to the vet. Was it this week or was it the previous week? There was like this week. We took him to the vet because he had an ulcer in his eye that was like weeping. He has eye problems because he was a hoarder kitty. When they rescued his litter from this hoarder house, there was like 80 cats there, and he was one of many, many, many kittens. And his eye was so infected that he almost lost it. They had to like surgically remove his eyelid from the surface of his eye. And so he still from time to time has eye problems. And so we had to take him in, and he's doing okay. This week I had doctor's appointments. I had to drive to Eco Enclosed to get packaging. I had to register Sunny and I for a cooking class we're taking in February. And then this was the week where Jesse went to Napa for in between dialysis to dialysis. He went for a meeting, and then the next day I flew dialysis to go to Kristen's baby shower, which was both awesome to see everybody, and also I was wiped out the entire following week. I had clinic visit, but for the most part this week I spent on my back. Although we did go to choir and start singing. Jesse went to the jam night. I had a clinic visit, and it was also election day. And Jesse, Sunny, and I voted. RJ is bent that the Colorado presidential primary is taking place the first week of March, right before he turns 18. So he can't vote in that, but he will get to vote in next year's presidential election. My son is so civic-minded. Another one of those weeks with just the highlighters and the washi tape and not much that I had in me. This is, I think, when I'm entering into I didn't use my planner that much towards the end of the year phase. Another choir rehearsal, and this was my first week singing in the choir. And our dating anniversary was this week as well, and we went to a delightful Italian restaurant. This was another doodly kind of week, and I didn't even touch it. This was Thanksgiving week, so I never wind up touching my planner again on holiday weeks, which is why using stickers is great, because you just fucking fill the whole thing up. So I have to pick up my Whole Foods Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday when it should have been on Thursday. As I found out when I waited in line, and then found out, nope, you pick it up tomorrow. This was first week in December, and I started Vlogmas this week, and I was rehearsed, and I sang it First You that weekend too. Sunny didn't wind up going with me because they were sick. And then finally, the week that we're on currently, which is another doodle week, I drew boobies, haven't really touched my planner. Tomorrow I have a mammogram, and I'm going to the Botanic Gardens for lights, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And that's all I've got. The last couple weeks aren't in here because I'm not going to film it at the end of the year because I'm going to be on a break. This was RJ's school calendar up through May, but I never added the second part of the year in because I never looked at it again. That should tell you something. Did some green stock planning, which was great, except, again, I killed the weather killed my green stock. Video killed the radio star. Pen testing, and then we're at the end of the planner. And that is my flip through. Now you have seen both like a reflection on my year and kind of how my planning style changed throughout the year. You could see that I kind of went from like stickery to this highlighter thing, and I may go back to stickers I don't know. I want to use my shit up, but at the same time, I also want to do what feels natural to me. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Do you go through your old planner at the end of the year, even if you don't film it for YouTube, even if you're not a YouTuber? Do you flip through it just to kind of reminisce over the year? If you don't, I suggest you do. But let me know in the comments anything you do at the end of the year to kind of reflect, both on how you planned and what you planned. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.